Hi, this is TapCat. Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. We have a little unfinished business to take care of. We did not get credit for completing the inspection of this room. I kind of knew when we were in here that I wasn't getting everything off of this sideboard. I just don't know what it is I'm missing. Now, I tried to be, extremely careful. We already got the candlestick, so there's no point fussing over that. We already did the silverware box. I keep thinking, there would be something up here. We did the bottles. In fact, I edited it out, but I literally had clicked on each bottle one by one. Okay, I just found, well, at least I think I found what we're missing.
A bottle of wine is missing here. The criminals did not thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware.
Okay, that did the trick. Now, just out of curiosity, do I have... No, okay, we've made all the deductions we can make. So now we're going to go back to the room where the widow is resting, because I also did not get credit for inspecting that. We had spoken to her. I mean, I might as well try this again.
Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behavior.
Yes, Sir Eustace was an extremely violent man. A detestable human being, to be more precise. It is true that he once threw a decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defence of my mistress. Sly devil. God forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead. But a devil he was, if ever one walked the earth. We met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. Wonder with his title and his money and his false London ways. If she made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was especially hard for her.
That was an interesting little speech, because it just covered so much ground that had nothing to do with what we asked her. Originally when I talked to Lady Breckenstall, I thought she killed him. It could be Teresa. I don't know. I mean, but I definitely believe these two killed him or had him killed.
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
Your ladyship?
Let us see if we can discover anything. Okay. Oh, that's actually quite a nice painting of that woman. I don't think that's Lady Brackenstall. We already looked in the safe, and we got credit for that. What about this small table? I don't remember looking at that. Okay. 2 women.
This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one?
Well, I can rotate it. And it looks like I can steal it. Rock of Gibraltar, Adelaide, 1893.
So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
I see. For just a moment, I was thinking of the Rock of Gibraltar as a place. I realize now it's the name of the ship. Because the Rock of Gibraltar is not a port, anyway. So I was having a little trouble figuring that out. There you go. Lady Brackenstall married Sir Eustace shortly after arriving in England and remained at home during that time. There's little possibility that she or her maid are acquainted with anyone in the country. Or she's acquainted with someone from the Rock of Gibraltar, such as a sailor. Well, I remember Holmes saying that the knot in that rope was a sailor's knot. So is that what's going on? Is that they have a sailor accomplice? Holmes did also say that the rope was cut by someone taller than him, which, you know, I must confess, that would definitely knock a hole in my theory of these two doing it. Okay, so we got credit for completing the inspection. Let me just make sure the inspector doesn't have anything else to say. Oh, he's not even here. Okay. Oh, there he is. He just moved.
I've searched outside for footprints without any luck.
Yeah, me too. I find that peculiar. Okay, we're supposed to go get Toby from Baker Street. We'll do that. Okay, I mean, it's not hard to find him.
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case.
Talk?
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
So, what am I supposed to do now? Collect Toby from Baker Street and follow the scent trail. So, I think I just go back.
Search, Toby.
Oh, you're kidding me. You are freaking kidding me. I'm playing the dog now. Okay. Out through the door. Someone needs to open it. Won't we just get to a place where they got in a cab or something? And believe it or not, I'm actually running right now. What the hell? It doubles back. Into the well.
The scent leads to the well. I should check it.
Yes, you should. But
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
trail also keeps going to the wall.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall.
So now what am I supposed to do? What the heck, man? What else do you want from me? Like, you gonna give me a biscuit or what? Can I just hit escape? No.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
I mean, seriously, what's the point of this? I just have to keep going back over the same ground?
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
What the heck? Come on. I mean, the game is literally telling me nothing about what it wants, so... Okay, this is new. So I missed this. That's my fault.
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
Yeah, me too. Especially since I believe the silverware will either be in here or in the
This hook might be useful.
well.
Small gardening tools, nothing of great interest. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved.
Let's go to the well. Come, Toby, the game's afoot. I see something.
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
Well, we have a hook, don't we? Now... Look at that.
Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence.
Okay, apparently I have to rotate this.
The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
Why am I not surprised? Really? Well. Okay, wrong thing. This is the one. Okay, this is complete crap. Imitated robbery. Exactly. Sir Eustace was murdered by the one person who was visiting that night. It was he who tied up Lady Brackenstall. He is tall and strong. Yeah. I mean, the funny thing about this case is I feel like the basic outline of the crime is so basic, like it's so clear, it's so obvious. It makes it hard for me to believe, that that's really correct. So I'm supposed to talk to someone about the silverware. I got a pretty good idea talking to the little woman would be the answer to that.
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship?
Let's see if Teresa has more to say on the subject.
We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
All right, well, that was not particularly illuminating. Let's see what Lestrade makes of it.
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
Okay, I need to do an analysis on the rope. And let's see, I'm not really too interested in any of that nonsense. Okay, we are going back to Baker Street. You know, I guess I should have noticed this was a thing. I probably had this last time. So when I got Toby, I probably could have done this. All right, Toby's back in place. I feel bad there for a minute when I was still playing as Toby. I thought the game was kind of screwing me over when it kept me running around, and I didn't realize I had just missed a spot. So it wasn't Toby's fault or the game's, it was mine. All right, let's examine the bell rope.
The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope.
I love we don't even bother to take like a similar rope. We're just going to butcher the one that's the actual evidence. Sure.
The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
Yes, they do. What about cutters? Shall we try that?
The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
Yes, yes they do. A knife? Is that what we're looking at?
If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
Okay. So, a knife-wielding sailor? And tied quickly in sailor's knots. That could indicate the intruder had a sailor's background. And yes, it could. The person who was visiting last night was probably a sailor. Look for a sailor. Okay. Maybe I could go down to the street. Pardon me, sir. Are you a sailor? Oh my. I can't even go anywhere. Okay. Let me try this. As unlikely as it feels that this would work. Wow. Okay. Honestly, like, that was just kind of an inspiration. When they said search and I couldn't go anywhere, I thought, well, would the newspapers have something? I didn't even think about the stupid photo. So, 1893. Oh, we got to go up a ways. Rock of Gibraltar's arrival. The Rock of Gibraltar, a bulk carrier from the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, has returned from a 6-month voyage through India, New Zealand, and Australia. The ship brought to England Miss Mary Fraser, the heiress of the Fraser family, owning land and tin mines in Australia. This reportedly beautiful young lady is presently engaged to Sir Eustace Brackenstall, one of the wealthiest gentlemen in Kent. Okay.
Here it is.
Thing is, well, that alone didn't really tell me that much that was useful. What's this about? The address of the Rock of Gibraltar ship owner. We can find the crew list there. Okay. Wait, let me back out, and then we'll come back in.
The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
Wiggins. And the Baker Street Irregulars. So I assume I'm supposed to go to the window. Yep. Okay, there we go.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893, and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
Yeah, I notice in the game they don't call them the Baker Street Irregulars. I actually can't remember anymore if that's in the books or if it's something that came into being, you know, later in games or whatever. Anyway.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor.
Okay.
And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th.
Okay, so it seems to me that if the departure from London was on November 10th, then the people on this list were in London on the 7th. So we're trying to find Chill, who is not on that list. Crocker
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
Okay. Southward. Nope. Woods. I don't see his name on the list. Whittington, I also don't see on the list. And Partledge. I mean, really? Are they only going to give me one guy?
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Okay. So, I couldn't figure out why it wasn't taking me out. I need to scratch off
This officer is still at sea.
all the people
therefore he
who are
cannot
still
be-
at sea.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
So, I just need to find Chill and Partledge now.
This officer
There's
was
Chill.
on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Oh, hold on. I saw him right after I did that.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
Okay. Call Crocker to confront him. Call, like on the telephone? Do we have a telephone?
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him.
Okay.
Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes? I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
Let's check him out first. Honest. Okay. Strong build, yes. I'm guessing he's also the sort who doesn't take kindly to men who beat their wives like rented mules. Which I can empathize on that score. Newspaper ink. Clean boots.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her. From when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... and what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right, if there was no evidence.
What then?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
I do.
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
Okay. Crocker's statement. Captain Crocker knows Lady Brackenstall, but he may be lying about his occupation. Yeah, on the night of the murder. No kidding. He's the only sailor who was aboard the Rock of Gibraltar with Lady Brackenstall and her maid, and who is currently in London. He's lying. Give me a break. Yeah. I mean, that's your answer right there. So, this is the first case that I have not been just immediately convinced to be the hanging judge, so to speak. We can arrest him because he's a murderer, and we'll bring him and his accomplice, Lady Brackenstall, to justice. Or you can say the murder was committed in self-defense. He defended a woman against a violent and dipsomaniacal man. The mystery is solved, but you decide to keep it secret. There's no need to inform the police. Well, you know, she's a very sympathetic figure. This dude, he was a bad guy. And yet, you know, like, she couldn't leave him. She couldn't do something else. And I admit, back then, I actually don't know what her options would have been. But I'm not going to condone murder. So there's no doubt in my mind that he and Lady Brackenstall killed the guy. So I have to admit, I am tempted, despite my hard words. My heart is tempted to say that the dude they killed kind of got what was coming to him. All right, I'm not going to play God. They killed him. I'm going to arrest him.
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear. And it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
Oh.
Watson.
It's over, Holmes. We can do nothing for him now.
Here is a case that didn't end as I had expected. It is entirely my fault. I know that you have already drafted a summary of the case. You have my permission for its publication, if you so wish.
I'll think about it, Holmes.
Holmes! Whatever is going on here?
That is Sir Eustace's killer. He has performed his own brand of justice.
My God! But why did you not call me?
I apologize. Here is his letter of confession.
So much drama.
You have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like the developers almost want you to believe that arresting people for murder is wrong. This guy was faced with arrest, so he killed himself. And now that's Holmes' fault because he was going to arrest him. That's just not true. Holmes didn't kill anyone, and he didn't create any of the circumstances. Nor did I, by the way. So, I don't know. I did have a lot of empathy for what Lady Brackenstall in particular had been through. And I don't know. I feel like if this guy had gone in front of a jury and actually told his story, he might well have gotten leniency. But he decided that he'd rather put a gun against his head and pull the trigger. So, yeah. All right. Well, We found all the clues. We were obviously correct. We knew that already, that he was the killer. So fair enough. I'm going to accept that decision. I'm sure that if I replay the ending and did it where we exonerated him or absolved him or whatever it was, it would all be sunshine, puppy dogs, and rainbows. But I'm going to leave it as it is. And that's all for now. Oh, I forgot. There's one more screen that we can see. 93% of people managed to solve it. And only 35% made the same moral choice I did. Again, that's the first time. I don't blame them. This one was a tough one. You know, I was very tempted to go the other way. So, okay, well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope we see you next time when we'll be back with another case.